Hey everybody, Baldoric here. Today we are going to be talking about Ena, the brand new unit for Tempest Trials in October of 2020. We're going to be going over what she can do, what her builds are, and how to use her in the different modes. So, first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about her stat line, because it's honestly really good minus her speed stat. So, very tanky, which is good, but she's going to be getting doubled, so we're going to want to do some things to make up for that. But that being said, let's also talk a little bit about her weapon, which is Pale Breath Plus. If unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack defense 5 to unit, and neutralizes unit's penalties to attack defense during combat. Also has the standard dragon effect on her weapon. Now, I'm not going to be using this weapon all too much. It's not a bad ability at all, but I do think for a lot of dragons there is a better breath out there that you can use, and we're going to go over that with her first build, which is Lightning Breath. So this is obviously an Astro Season build, and this is factoring in Altina and Naga only because they are a little bit more accessible because they have been out a little bit longer, and stat-wise they do give her stats that she wants more than speed, so I am using those two mythics for my example. So let's talk about this build and why I think it's extremely viable for AR as long as they don't have dragon effective units on their team. So first off, using Lightning Breath gives her that free distant counter and does not eat up the A slot, which lets us use something like Attack Res Solo 4, which is really boosting not only her defensive stats, but her offensive stats as well. Combo with the brand new Attack Defense Solo Seal from her Tempest Trials, and you have her stat line in the 50s for both defense and res, while her attack stat is hitting the 70s. So honestly, an extremely powerful buff to her kit. And with Special Spiral Noontime, as soon as your first special goes off, you have constant healing going off. Pulse Smoke is going to happen, which is going to prevent her from getting specialed, which because she is getting doubled most of the time, unless she does get that one-hit kill, you want that constant healing. You want to prevent specials from happening because she will get doubled because her speed stat is garbage. But because your defensive stats are so high, and because you're going to be getting constant healing from Special Spiral, as long as the team doesn't have too much blue or too much dragon effectiveness, she will do a good job on those specific teams, and I do think she works well on this season as well, because Thracier is obviously going to be prevalent, and she will counter Thracier because of her high res stat and the fact that she is a red. So, very powerful, works really good. I think this will work well in AR, especially if you're looking to have a unit like this, a dragon unit. I think she works great for it. I think this is probably her best mode, but she does obviously work in Arena as well, which we'll talk about in a second. But I definitely don't think she works on AR defense. Well, she would on Dark Season, but she definitely doesn't on Anima Season because obviously there's Naga. So, moving on. Now, for AR, we're going to do something like this. We're still using the Attack Res Solo, we're still using Lightning Breath because we want that distant counter, but I'm opting to use Joint Drive Attack because obviously we do want that high-scoring C slot, and it gives her a boost to her attack, which is already pretty high. We're using Heavy Blade because her attack stat is going to be very high, and comboed with Aether, she's going to be getting that off quite a bit. If we use Quick Riposte, as long as she is getting attacked, she is going to be doubling, which for her is something that will not typically happen, and it will help get Aether off much quicker. So on your phase, you can have her go in and do some damage, but enemy phase, her tankiness is going to be pretty high. The only thing that's slightly lacking is her defense stat, because that's not getting that boost from the Attack and Res Solo, but as long as you have allies that can boost that in some way, shape, or form, she is going to be fine, going to be able to survive things that are going in and attacking her, and Aether is going to be proccing with that free distant counter, and I think it's going to work really well. Obviously, again, you're going to want to watch out for that dragon effectiveness. You're going to want to watch out for units like the legendary Roys and things like that in the game that are going to hurt her, but besides that, she's going to do a really good job, especially against those greens like legendary Edelgard. So, powerful unit, definitely works in in Arena as well. If you're looking to build her stat line is really good, so she definitely has good BST. Something to consider if you want to use this unit for that mode. There are other ways to build her, but this is one that I was looking at that I think works really well. Now, let's say you do get her, you just want to have like a fun build with her, you want to just build her generically to use her for whatever modes, or you need a good like starter build. So on a budget, I've opted to use something like this, using her default weapon with a res refine, giving her Glimmer, Fury, Desperation, Attack Smoke, and Attack Defense solo. So by using Attack Defense solo, 1, it's going to increase her attack, which is really good. 2, it's increasing her defense, which she is slightly lacking. Well, not lacking, but it's not as high as it could be. Comboed with her weapon, though, it's going to go up to 51 defense as long as it is going off. Her attack stat is going to be going up pretty well. It's going to go up to 64, which is pretty strong. And with Desperation Fury, she is going to be able to double as long as she loses that health, which she will because of Fury, which actually makes her a pretty strong attacker while giving her a little bit of tankiness with the attack smoke, obviously decreasing enemy attacks. And because her defensive stats are going to be huge, she is going to be great defensively, decent with res, and she is going to be able to double on her attacks. Definitely works pretty well. This is a very obtainable, very easy to do build, and even at low merges like 1, because you're going to have obviously 1 copy of her for a while, or 2 copies of her for a while, so you can +1 her if you want to. It does work pretty well. Should work for most basic modes. It's not going to do anything fantastic in AR, but if you want to use her like as a bonus unit in Arena, and that's like the only bonus unit you have, you could do something like this, and it could work pretty well if you're not looking to go for crazy high scores or anything like that. But that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, consider subscribing. I'm going to be putting out more videos just like this one whenever new heroes come out just like this. If you're looking for more updates from me, you can follow my Twitter. I post all of my merge projects and things like that on there, and I retweet everything Fire Emblem Heroes that I can. That being said, though, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you next time.